What is going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to the live session. We are here. Let me know that you can hear me and see, and the camera is on as well. I will share the screen in a second. So, yeah, starting the day, starting the week. That's great, Abby. Thanks. Okay, let me share the screen and we'll go straight to the charts. I'll share with you. We'll start with the MetaTrader and then move to the other platforms and talk a little bit about the trading session that we can expect to see this week, basically. So first, that's my MetaTrader. We'll talk about this trade that I'm in right now, and also the previous one that we talked about a week ago or so, and that was a crazy move on the NASDAQ. We actually took that together. Hopefully, some of you took that with me, and it ended up being a crazy, crazy trade. So right now I'm in the NASDAQ 100. I'm a little bit green, but or blue in that case. And now it started to ride. I started my position right here, added more, and once I saw the major resistance, I added more to my position. Again, as I always said, guys, this is uh, the way I trade. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for everybody, but adding to a negative position, as long as you're within the risk parameters, it's totally fine. If you're risking $100 and you add into your position while you in a minus $20, that's totally fine. The idea is to open trades slowly and not go all the way in, right? Right from the get-go. So as you can see, I got a lot of 0.2 because I knew in advance that this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking to add more to my position. So that was the idea here. Still didn't take any partials, obviously. Waiting for a nice move to the downside. And I can still add more if it will continue against me, because like I said, I'm still within the risk parameters. If I'll see that the price will go against me too far, I can close the trade and that's it. But since I started it small with a 0.2 and added as it went against me, I'm still within my risk parameters. So let me share for a second the screen my in my other platform, and I will show you how it looks like on the analysis side. Okay, so that's basically the same, the NASDAQ 100 on a 1-minute chart. So I took that. I'll, I'll go and actually go to an hourly chart, and I'll show you where I came up with this gray area, basically the resistance level. Price declined very nicely, and I took that short. We'll talk about it in a second or so. Reached that support level, up again today, right from the beginning, and reach that resistance level, this gray area. I'm going back to show you where it came from. So keep an eye. This is the gray area. You can see this resistance that became support, broke that, became resistant again and support. And basically that's the level I worked with this morning. So basically, once the price moved toward that level, I actually started to add to my position. So I actually shorted it here, added more here, and of course, at the top where I reached that resistance level. And as you can see, price declining right now. I needed to go much further down in order to really take some partials out. But generally speaking, that's a nice trade at the moment. And like I said, even if the price will continue to the upside, and let's say break that high and reach, still play within the gray area, I'm still good of adding more to my position because the risk that I'm taking, I'm still within the risk that I'm willing to take. So even if the price will continue higher, break through that resistance or this high and still play within the resistance, I can add more to position and potentially see the major drop that I'm looking for. So right now I'm in the money, but not uh, not enough for me to take partials. About $400 in profit, but still for me it's too early to take that partial out. Obviously, it might end up to be a losing trade, and that's also totally fine. But it's the idea. Besides that, I'm also in a Tesla trade with my account, obviously in AAPL. For those of you maybe not familiar with AAPL, we are an online prop that funds stock traders, powered by the Fivers. So I took a short on Tesla right from the morning. And let me share that as well. I'm still within that trade, but let's talk a little bit about that as well, because we wanted to touch and talk a little bit about stocks as well, just to understand, especially, you know, we are in the right now we in the earnings season, so a lot of the stocks are gapping down and up, and we can actually benefit from it, not necessarily trading all the big techs, but also, you know, other stocks that just pop up and down. So Tesla moved nicely to the upside, started to reverse, and as I saw the market also shifting direction, I started and added in two chunks, entered in two chunks to Tesla. When it dropped, I took my partials, some of the partials out, and you can see the this triangle right here, the red triangle. I added more to my position as it just pulled back basically. And like I said, I saw that the market, the NASDAQ is continuing to drop or looking like in a good place to continue to drop. So I added more to my position, and right now it dropped, and waiting for it to drop a little bit more to take some of the partials out. Already took 1,000 out, still got 600 shares. Hopefully we will see it continue to drop. So very nice opening at the moment. Like I said, waiting for the NASDAQ to drop a little bit more in order to take the partial. So a good opening, I gotta say. NASDAQ pulling back a little bit. I will add more to my position if it will go against me. Like I said, to the area that I'm expecting it to reverse again. Hopefully that will be the major reverse. But even so, even if it won't exactly what I'm looking for, very nice add-in where it reached that resistance level, that's that liquidity area. So that would have been even better trade if I added a little bit more and been more aggressive. But since I already traded Tesla and all, I took a calculated risk and didn't add an aggressive lot size here, but actually wanted to play along and maybe give it sometimes to even go further more and then short it again. So that's the idea. Anyway, guys, if you have any symbols you want to share with me, feel free. And even if not, we'll go through some of the pairs, and later on we'll talk about, like I said, the trade that I had a few days ago in the NASDAQ, and also talk a little bit about the earnings season in the stock market. Apple is reporting this week, Qualcomm as well, AMD, so some of the big names that gonna definitely, you know, move the market. If Apple gonna drop, it will take the NASDAQ with it. So that could be very interesting to see. And of course, first of all, you can always trade the NASDAQ or the S&P through your Defivers account, or you can trade it with trader pool through the ETF, the QQQ, or the SPY, the ETF for the index. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about Forex pairs. I did, so before that, did see, what was that? CAD, USD CAD looked pretty good to the upside. So I'm on a 1 minute chart. It's actually looking pretty good to the upside right here. You can see very nice volume coming in at the bottom. And this is, I've been talking about it for a while. In most cases, in Forex, you don't really pay attention to volume because it's actually the volume of the current broker you're trading. But if you're trading with a big firm like the Fivers, then you can definitely use that volume to your advantage. You can see that we have very high volume coming in at the bottom after a nice drop of the USD CAD. So in that case, in most cases, high volume coming in at the bottom will actually represent buyers that manipulating the price are actually taking place. So a lot of the guys that looking at this chart will say that's it. The dollar CAD will probably drop even more. They started to short it, and on the other end, you have the guys that basically the market makers or the algos that will take the liquidity out, so like a stop hunting, if you will, and then will reverse that trend. So once you see a lot of volume coming in at the bottom after we dropped majorly, this is a great sign. Obviously not something that you will just automatically will make a decision and jump into that trade, but this is a great sign first to say, okay, something big is happening. We might see some reverse in that price. Okay, so try to use that volume as well. Although it's you're trading Forex, try to use that volume to your advantage. You will see a lot of edge when you're using volume comparing to guys that not using it at all. So this is a great move that we see right now. Maybe if we continue that trade or that trend actually, and this is a real reversal and not just a pullback, you can see that if we'll break that tiny support level or a resistance level, that's a 1 minute, right? So maybe a tiny break of that and retest could lead to a trade, to a nice trade. So pushing higher, retesting that, and then moving higher again. That could be a nice setup for USD CAD. Definitely could have been a nice trade from the bottom, but right now, if this is the turnover, we can see a break, a retest, and then try to go long on that. Let me go back to the NASDAQ trade. Okay, dropping down nicely. Again, I want to see it a little bit more. Maybe too much. But yeah, the only thing the only thing I don't like about this trade is actually that I didn't add more, like a bigger volume at the top of the range, because in that case I would have already made my trade. So that is my only problem. I'm taking some partials out on Tesla, taking half size out. So left with 300 shares on Tesla and waiting for the NASDAQ to drop even more. What are you trading today? Let me know. So we still got this support level that we might want to reach, and then it will be a great place to start taking some out. So we still have room for the downside. Let me know if you're trading anything. Interesting to see this morning, Monday. So we looked at the USD CAD. let's look at the USD yen. That's a nice drop, but gotta go to a bigger time frame just to see the support, the resistance, some liquidity areas. We dropped nicely to those support levels. Look like a pullback. That's a good drop. Let me take a long on that. My only concern, let me say before I go in, where will be my next add-in? So this is kind of a major level that we already penetrated a few times. So that could be also a good place to look for a buy opportunity on the USD yen. So let's say it will drop to this level right here, the red line. And then it could be a nice place to start buying. What I'll do is wait for it to drop, one option. The second option, breaking through this 149, 328 or so, and I will start buying it. So, but I gotta give myself enough space to add to my position if it will go against me, right? So that's USD yen. Here we go. We reached that. I kind of missed the first drop. The NASDAQ took some out. Going back to my Tesla trade, I'm taking something out as well. We'll share my screen in a second with the trader pool account. It's a shame you can't share half of the screen. Okay, and let me go back to the USD yen. Okay. I will wait for the break or the bounce from the bottom of this X that I marked. One of them, the first one that will arrive, I will do. Let me share my Tesla trade. So that's, again, that's the Tesla trade. Still got 150 shares in. So I shorted it from here, took some partial here, added more to my position, more short, took some partials here, and I still got 150 shares in with a net of $700 and already took $3,000 out. So Tesla dropping very nicely. What I need to do in order to understand where I'm going to take the rest of the shares out is basically just to understand, obviously, just go back and try to see what happened in the past. So I'll take the daily chart and look for that support level. You can see we still got basically that's a lot of room to the downside actually, 199 or so. Let me drop to the hourly chart and see if we got something in the back. Okay, interesting. So no stop loss at the moment, letting it ride. If it will bounce above 205-ish, I will close that trade of the rest of the shares down within 50 that I still have inside. Sorry. But if not, I'm just letting it continue. NASDAQ dropping down nicely. So that's a nice trade already on the NASDAQ, taking some partials out. Yep. Reaching that support level from the pre-market. Let's see what you got, guys. Euro dollar. Let's look at that. And I see euro dollar, and I'll also see pound dollar. Okay, let's look at the first the euro dollar. What are you looking to do there? Give me information of what do you see, so I can see if we're looking at the same way. So we are in a resistance level, right? On this full area of where we're at right now, and also above it a little bit. That's a nice place to look for a short opportunity. And that's an hourly chart. So on a 1 minute chart, we kind of missed those two tails, but it still looked pretty good. Plenty of room to the downside after this nice move to the upside. So this is what I would look for on the euro dollar. Although, as some of you know, I don't like this pair whatsoever. Pound dollar, yeah, doing the job. Very similar, of course. NASDAQ continue to drop. Be interesting to see if it can reach that support level. So maybe for the pound dollar, I would have waited for this support level to break that support, retest it, and then try to go long. Short, obviously, sorry. Yeah, something like that. What else? WDC, we would look at it in a second. Let me give some back for the Forex traders. What's that? Okay, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar. Let's go to the hourly chart first. So choppy, crazy. So we're reaching that resistance level on the Aussie dollar. This is the area, right? From here to here. So what I would have done is just wait until we will enter again those area or this area, and from here try to short it, because this is a little bit, you can start shorting it from this area as well, but you got to give yourself enough space to add to your position, right? Because you're still not there is like a liquidity area here, but it's a smaller one compared to the one that I just marked. So in most cases, price will try to go to those areas, right? So you can, let's say, start short it from here and give yourself that space so you can add more to your position once it will go to this area of resistance, and then you can add to your position again. And similar as I did on the NASDAQ, right? But you got to give yourself beforehand, before you jumping in, you got to give yourself that opportunity to be in that trade. So if you take that short from here, you don't want to go all the way and risk the full 100% that you're willing to lose on a trade. So you will take, let's say, 20%. Once it will go against you, you will add more, 20%, 20%, 20%, etc. And then you will be able basically to take that trade fully and give it really a real opportunity. Because sometimes, we are trying to put our stop losses so tight and so close to the entry price because we want to go big. But generally speaking, it doesn't make sense, because when you put in a tight stop loss, you're basically saying, I can time the market anytime, anywhere, right? That's what you're saying when you put in a tight stop loss. You're saying that you can timely the market, right? And obviously, we know that it's not the case. So what you need to do is give yourself that space of mistakes, or just a space enough to say, okay, you can play around, do whatever you want, as long as I understand that from this area the price should decline, then I can play with that area and not take those stop losses like they did here, for example, right? Took those stop losses and then a drop and so on. So in this case, let's say, let me try to mark something here. I'm not too familiar with MetaTrader, but let's say, okay, let's say you took you took a short here, right? And then you put your stop loss right at the top, right here. Then you'll pretty much be out of the game very easily and very soon. And in most cases, you will see those trades very similar to this, right? But if you entered here and you said, okay, my next resistance level is obviously here, those two lines as I marked. So you give that space to be wrong. So even if the price goes against you, as it did, you add into your position and not getting out of that trade. Again, as long as you're risking the same dollar that you set before entering the trade, right? So basically you said to yourself, okay, I'm risking $100. I'm taking only $20 risk here. Goes against me, I'm adding more, $20 more, $20 more, $20 more. Now you're 60, 80, 100% in. And when it drops, now you're making your trade basically, right? So this is the concept that I believe, at least, and I also see our funded traders doing the same. If you do that, you will be able to stay much more longer in the game and really create consistency, and not just, you know, enter in, put in your stop loss, that's it, one pop to the top and you're out of the game. So just give yourself that space. Okay. Tesla continue to drop. We're reaching that 203. Let me see what the NASDAQ is doing. Looks like a bit of reverse. It did drop nicely, reach that morning opening. Now it's the case, either breaking it and reaching that support level. So this is the opening bell. Breaking it, reaching that support level, and then turn, or from here bouncing up. Interesting. Yeah, to me it looks like it might pull up a little bit, maybe reach those resistance from here, from the pre-market, and then try to drop down. If it will and do what I just marked, then definitely I would look to buy the market, the NQ, around this area of support. If it will do what I just marked. So instead of dropping down to the support level, I would have I would like to see a bounce in the price and then a decline, and then it will be a great opportunity to buy the market. I'll take one partial out again, let it bounce if it will, and then try to short it, and then reverse once it will reach that support level I just talked about. Tesla continue to drop. I'll take, that's only 150. So in most cases, I would close that trade. But I mean, it might continue even more. I took that out. Very nice trade on Tesla. Let it ride. Okay, let's go back to the, what was it, the dollar yen. Still playing in the area. Would be very interesting to see it first drop. Now that it's creating sort of like trying to push higher, or you can see like a flag here, right? Like this triangle. One option, like I said, would be started to buy it at the bottom here. The other option is just to go long, obviously not with the full size from here. I would prefer to see it drop down and then bounce with it. But yeah. Okay, let me go through. I see that you're writing in the chat. Let me see what's going on. Okay, New Zealand chief. Yeah, that's a nice drop. Let's see what's going on. I'm on an hourly chart. Yeah, we did reach that support, that resistance level. Nice area. Remember always, that's a super important one. You know, we're not trading one specific point, right? This is an area you want to trade. So we reached that area after a nice move to the upside. So this is a great place, generally speaking, to look for a short. And now we need to time it a little bit more, or not to time it, but manage the trade actually. So it's already started to drop. Let me drop down to the 1 minute. Those are the two levels that we marked from the hourly chart. It will be a bit tough to enter here because if the price will go against us, we will have to add more to the position around those levels. Generally speaking, it looks pretty good to the downside. Again, when we're looking at the bigger time frame picture, right? Because from here, the price might bounce up. But overall, when you're looking at the hourly chart, you see that the price should continue to the downside. So we might see a nice bounce here to reach those resistance levels and then the drop. So in that case, again, it's super important to enter with a small risk compared to the total amount of risk that you're willing to take, just to give yourself that space. So let's say you shorted it here and it started to move against you, basically, again, to those resistance levels, right? Those two. So you would like to add more once it reached those levels. So this is a place you want to start adding more to your position, again, as long as you're within the risk parameters. Then hopefully it will continue to the downside and continue basically the full picture, or the bigger time frame picture as we saw on the hourly chart. Other option is that the price won't stop here or stop a little bit, but continue to those levels, the bigger time frame levels. And then you want to, if you didn't add or added a little bit here and you reach those levels, then here you need to be a little bit more aggressive and add much more to your position right here in those levels. So let's say you took $20 within $100 risk, right? So you took $20 here at the bottom, added more $20 when it reached those resistance levels, and then let's say it continue against you. You're still risking $40, right? Out of the $100 that you're willing to lose. Now that it reached those levels, now you go aggressive and add 60 again. And not again, but add 60 to complete the full $100 loss. So instead of 20, 20, 20. Okay. What else do we got? Swing trader. Okay, you took that boot camp. Yeah, definitely. Again, obviously trading is super individual and you need to find your own way and niche in trading and your style. But at least from my experience, and I've been around for a while, I guess, and saw a lot of traders on our platform as funded traders, and also as I was the head of the traders in one of the prop firm, a local shop here. Then this is the way to do it. You add more to your position as long as you stay within the risk parameters. Okay. What else do we have? Euro dollar, you took it to, okay, as a swing trade. Let me go back again. Let's say 4 hour. But that could work. But for me, it's kind of still in the range. So it's a bit harder for me to take that and say that I would be interested to go long, just because we are really in that range, and I need to see maybe a little bit before that. That's the daily chart, right? Okay. So if you took that from the bottom, that's fine, because that's a nice support level that we reached. I don't know. Too rangy for me. Don't have an opinion on that. Good luck though. Which indicator, like MACD or an EA? Okay, so generally speaking, I've been using the MACD for many years. That's probably that's like maybe the only one, or been using also 200 EMA and 420, but in most cases that would be the MACD that I'm using. But again, this is something I said before. You need to remember that all indicators, doesn't matter which one, comes from the chart, right? So it will calculate the price or the volume and basically show you the result of it. So if you learn how to trade on a naked chart and just price action, momentum, understand the volume, you will have a much better understanding of the movement instead of, and the structure, instead of focusing only on the indicators. Obviously, indicators are very easy to spot because, 70 at the top, 30 at the bottom, stuff like that. But once you understand the chart, it will be much more effective for your trading. So try to focus on that instead of the indicator. Yeah, Abby, in regards to AAPL, you have it on our YouTube channel and also in the hub. If you go to AAPL, hub.AAPL, I'll write it here. Once you're in, you will see we have what we call the trading space, and there's a lot of information on the platform and also in generally about stock trading if you're new to trading in regards to stock trading. Different strategies for stocks and Forex, actually, no, not at all. That's the same concept. I mean, you do need to realize or understand the nuances, right? The opening hours, the earning seasons when it comes to stock trading, gaps in most cases that in Forex you won't see. But once you understand that, and that's like 2 hours, an hour, 2 hours of learning. Once you understand that, a chart is a chart. The buyers and sellers will be here and will be there. The same concept. Yeah, so if you're using the back there, I guess you're saying 4C, you mean 4H, like 4-hour chart. So it's not about lagging, or obviously all indicators will be, again, will have some lagging because it's calculated from the chart, right? So you need the chart first, you need the price, and then the MACD, or doesn't matter which one of the indicators, will show you the outcome. So it's not about lagging, it's about, if you're using the MACD, it's about trying to understand, again, the structure of it, right? Let's say, look, for example, let's look at the NQ for a second, right? That's the MACD below. For those of you maybe not familiar with the MACD, it's basically 3 moving averages, exponential, which you have, the classic one at least, have the difference between the 12 EMA to 26 EMA, and then you have the 9 EMA that play along with them. So in my case, on futures, on indices, I will use 8, 20, and 8. So the difference between the 8 EMA to the 20 EMA instead of 12 and 26, and then 8 that play with them. And what you want to see, for example, in the MACD, you want to see a divergence, right? You want to see something different between the price and the MACD itself. So let's say you can see that the MACD right now is pushing higher, right? Going higher, while the price is declining. This is a great sign that something starting to occur, and actually might create positive diversion. A positive diversion meaning that the price will continue to decline while the MACD will rise. And if so, in some cases, that will indicate basically that the sellers are getting weaker, the momentum of the sellers is getting weaker, which means that buyers can take place. So look at it that way. This is why I wanted to see the price push higher first and then drop. So in this case, let's say it will go higher and then drop. That will be the price. Imagine the price going higher and then drop below. What you would see from the MACD in a lot of the cases is that the price will go higher, as it will here. But then when the price will decline and reach that low, a new low, the MACD won't create a new low, would actually stop about here, around here, and then will go higher. So the price, try to imagine that. So the price going higher and drop to a new low, okay, while the MACD dropping but not creating a new low. That will indicate of a positive diversion, and meaning basically that sellers are getting weaker, which means that the buyers might step in and take control. So this is something that even if a MACD is lagging, you can create it in your mind, or just create this scenario and prepare to it. And once you see that, you already understand, okay, I got this diversion, a positive diversion, a major support level after a major drop. If high volume will come in at the bottom, that will be great as well. Understand that the buyers are coming in to push the price, and then you got to trade, right? So I'm not taking a trade just because I'll see diversions, 100% not. But this is another V in my checkbox, right? To basically say, okay, look at it, it looks pretty good to the upside. You still got the rest of the parameters that helping you decide. This is a great place to start buying, let's say. Okay. James, you say we need to check every time frame, and the lower time frame take percentage while taking an entry using a MACD. So again, like I said, my perspective on that is just taking a bigger time frame just to mark those major levels. Well, for me again, yeah, maybe it's not for everybody, but that's just for me. And I'm using the MACD on a lower time frame, like a 1 minute chart, to enter the trade. But again, you can definitely use that for an hourly chart, or a daily or weekly. Yeah, Felix, you can definitely try to play with them and mix some together. In most cases, you will see that when you have, let's say, a positive diversion in the MACD, you will see a break from the Bollinger Bands, let's say, right? Or you will see the RSI reaching 30 or 20, so on. Okay, nice. So price is a little bit dropping. Let's talk a little bit about the trade. We did hopefully together, I believe it was a week ago or so, in this live chat, live trading room as well. For those of you who maybe missed that and want to just go back and recap it, go ahead and do that. And this is it was like a rough trade, I guess, to work with. For it was a little bit advanced, but we did. For those of you who took that with me, so we started the day here. That was on the 23rd, so roughly a week ago. Yeah, and basically what I did is went short, as you can see all around here. Again, hopefully with you guys. The idea was, obviously, you can see that we dropped down nicely. So this is not the best place to short it, of course, right? But the bigger time frame picture, and I talked about it, this is why you can see that I shorted it many times before. The bigger time frame was that the market, the US market, will continue to the downside. Obviously, maybe I could have been wrong, obviously, on that, but my analysis told me that, I guess. And the idea was to short the market. Now, since I give myself enough space to be wrong on that timing, I added to the position as it went against me and added more as it went to my resistance levels that we talked about during the live session. So I knew that if it's not dropping from here, the next resistance level will be all the way up. So there is no point adding more to my position around here. I did miss this area where I can actually edit more when it penetrated that resistance level. But once I saw that it dropped and consolidated, I added more here and then took that drop all the way down. So you see that even if you are very much wrong on the timing, you're still very good in that trade as long as the big picture support your trading in that case. So it was a super trade. Yeah, and very nice drop that took that all the way down. Okay, let's look at the market again. Here we go. Look at that volume within that support level. Generally speaking, that's a good place to start buying. And you can see, although we don't have that diversion, you can see that the MACD is different than the price, right? The price created lower lows. The MACD is creating higher lows. I would have wanted to see maybe a little bit more of a banana shape than this this tiny low, but generally speaking, it looks pretty good to the upside. Tesla, okay, that's a nice place to cover the full trade. Even missed that a little bit. That's a very nice trade on Tesla. Again, shorted it from the top, covered, added more to my position, covered all the way to the down. And again, Tesla, obviously, one of the big names, will trade very similar to the NASDAQ. And something that I saw that was a bit different from the morning, when actually the NASDAQ pushed higher, Tesla didn't go that much. And that was a great sign of weakness, because you see the NASDAQ popping up like crazy, but Tesla doesn't move. And then that's a great place for you to say, okay, the main pair or the main index that's supposed to that Tesla is supposed to imitate is not doing the same. So that was a great sign for the weakness and that trade. This is a good one, closing it with a little bit more than 4K. I'll close that NASDAQ trade. And I think I'm good for the day. Generally speaking, again, looks pretty good to the upside after it reached that support. I won't be surprised if we will push a little bit more to the downside and then try to bounce up. But for me, I'm fine with what I had today. So let's just look at the dollar yen. Still didn't reach that support. Will be interesting to see if it could make it. Yes, Felix, the 5 euros allow EA with 100K risk per trade. So the idea is, you're asking for me or you're asking for yourself? Because for me, it's the company account, obviously. So, you know, I have more space and it's not really the exact same way on your evaluation. But the idea, well, when it comes to understanding the percentage you want to risk per trade, try to go with something maybe a bit different than the classic one of just 1% or 2% and so on. Actually try to understand, first of all, what are your setups that you take in and what's the quality of each one. So for example, you will have A plus setups, you will have A setups, and you will have B setups, right? And for each one of them, risk differently. For example, on your A plus setup, take the daily loss that you have or daily pause that you have. Let's say just random numbers. You have $500 you're willing to lose per day, right? That's your daily pause. So from those $500, risk on A plus setups around 30 to 40% out of your daily loss. So in our case, with the $500 risk between $150 to $200 on a trade. In addition to that, and obviously for the A and the B, just risk lower than that, 20 to 30, 10 to 20. In addition to that, don't go all in with the $150 or $200 loss risk, like I did on the NASDAQ. So shooting up. So like I did on the NASDAQ, I didn't take the full risk on that trade. I actually started with 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, and then I had a nice trade. But if I would have gone right from the get-go with a full 100%, I would have lost that trade and closed it very fast before I had the chance to see that drop. So that's basically the idea. Give yourself the opportunity to be in that trade. And of course, to understand if what are your best setups, the A plus, the A and the B, you need to track them. You know, take a screenshot, mark those levels, understand the setup, the movement of the price, etc. Use a trading journal. Is there a video how trade pool works? Yeah, sure, of course. So first of all, you guys can go to tradepool.com and check us out. And we are powered by the Fivers, so you know we are good and legit. And you can read a little bit about it through, you have videos, of course, and you have funded traders that talk a little bit about their style and what they do. We have a lot of terminology for guys that come in from Forex and want to trade stocks. So a lot of the small things to understand that you need to know in the US market. And we got support 24/7, so you can ask anything you like, of course, or send an email to help@tradepool.com. Also on our YouTube channel, you will see a lot of the crash courses that prepare you to trade stocks and generally about stocks. And and trading. Bernie, maybe send an email or give me your email and we will check it. Tell me a little bit about that, and I'm sure we can help pretty easily. We are running right now a competition. If you guys want to check us out as well, it's already started, so the registration is done, but you can have a look at the leaderboard and just follow us. We're also every day on Benzinga, Benzinga Live as well, so you can check us out there too. Alrighty, guys, so I think we'll wrap it up. Have a great rest of the day or night. We'll see you next time. Take care.